Once upon a time, in a small city in Nigeria, there lived a young girl named Lila. She was full of dreams and aspirations. Her eyes alight with the promise of a bright future. Lila's heart danced to the rhythm of hope, and she believed that life held endless possibilities. But fate has a way of weaving unexpected threads into our stories. One day, Lila discovered that she was pregnant. The news hit her like a sudden storm, shaking the very foundations of her world. Fear and uncertainty clouded her mind, and she felt as though she stood on an abyss. Her parents, staunch traditionalists, could not accept this twist of fate. Their love for her was filled with the fear of society's judgment. They turned their backs on her, leaving her feeling abandoned and alone. The ones she had loved most became strangers, their silence echoing like an empty room. Yet, within the depths of her despair, Lila found an ember of resilience. She refused to be defined by the whispers and raised eyebrows. She stood tall, her spine straight, and her gaze unyielding. The judgment of others will not dictate her worth. She will carve her own path. The journey was arduous. Tears flowed freely, and the nights were long and lonely. But Lila discovered a wellspring of strength she never knew existed. She faced each day with courage, her steps steady even when her heart trembled. She became a silent warrior, battling not only societal norms, but her own doubts. As the days turned into weeks, Lila's belly grew round with life. She felt the flutter of tiny kicks, a reminder that she was no longer alone. The weight of her situation pressed down on her, but she refused to crumble. Instead, she stood tall, her determination unwavering. The local support group became her lifeline. In that small room, surrounded by other young women facing similar struggles, Lila found solace. They shared stories of fear, hope, and dreams. They laughed together, cried together, and held each other up when the weight of the world threatened to crush them. Lila's parents had turned their backs on her, unable to accept the reality of their daughter's pregnancy. But in that room, she found a new family, a sisterhood forged in adversity. They became her confidants, her cheerleaders, and her pillars of strength. The days blurred into nights as Lila prepared for the arrival of her baby. She read books, attended parenting classes, and painted the nursery walls a soft shade of blue. The crib stood empty, waiting for the tiny life that would soon fill it. The hospital room was stark and sterile, but Lila's heart overflowed with joy as she held her son for the first time. His tiny fingers curled around hers, and she whispered promises into his ear. Promises of love, of protection, of a future brighter than the one she had known. The road ahead was still uncertain. Financial struggles loomed, and sleepless nights stretched into eternity. But Lila clung to hope like a lifeline. She juggled part-time jobs, scrapped together every penny, and sang lullabies to her son in the quiet hours before dawn. As the seasons changed, so did Lila. She learned to balance motherhood with ambition. She pursued her education, fueled by the desire to give her son a better life. Late nights, at the kitchen table, textbooks spread out before her. She dreamed of a future where they would both thrive. And thrive they did. Lila's resilience carried her through sleepless nights, diaper changes, and teething wounds. She celebrated every milestone: the first tooth, the first step, the first day of school, with tears of joy in her eyes. Her son grew strong and curious, a testament to her unwavering love. Together they explored parks, museums, and libraries. She taught him to dream big, to reach for the stars just as she had done. Lila's journey was not without setbacks. There were moments when doubt crept in, when exhaustion threatened to break her spirit. But she remembered the support group, the faces of those young, brave women who had lifted her up when she needed it most. And so Lila pressed on. She became a beacon of hope for others, sharing her story with anyone who would listen. She spoke at schools, community centers, and conferences. Her message was simple. Resilience was not about avoiding hardship, but about rising above them. Years passed, and Lila's son grew into a fine young man. He looked at her with pride in his eyes, knowing the sacrifices she had made for him. Together they stood on the edge of possibility, ready to leap into a future filled with promise. Lila's journey was not just about survival. It was about transformation. She had turned adversity into opportunity, fear into courage, and rejection into acceptance. Her life was a testament to the power of resilience, the ability to bend without breaking, to find strength in vulnerability. And so, dear viewers, remember Lila's story. When life throws you curveballs, when the road seems impassable, channel your inner Lila. Stand tall, face the challenges head on, and know that you too can create a better future. One filled with hope, love, and unwavering resilience. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories like Lila's.